Welcome back, everyone. Look at this. I've already cooked for you. As fast as that was. We've got a meatloaf here. I cooked it yesterday in preparation for this recipe today. My husband's super excited because we're going to take it and we're going to make fried meatloaf sandwiches. Now I have a recipe, rustic meatloaf. It's on my recipe blog, catherinesplates.com, if you want to go check it out. Actually, I'm going to show you right now how I put that rustic meatloaf together, step by step, ingredient by ingredient. We're going to come back, we're going to fry it up with something delicious, top it with something else delicious, and then put it into a nice golden bun. Serve it up. All right, come on, let's make a meatloaf. Now I'm going to show you my version of a rustic meatloaf, or you can even make your own homemade recipe if you would like. We're going to start with 1 pound of ground beef in a large mixing bowl. To that, we're going to crack in 2 eggs. These are the large size eggs. We're going to add in 1 cup of panko breadcrumbs, or just regular breadcrumbs if that's what you have. We're going to add in a medium yellow onion that we've diced. Now this recipe comes out of my recipe blog, catherinesplates.com, and it's the rustic homemade meatloaf. I'm doing half of that recipe for our meatloaf today. So we're going to be adding in 1/2 cup of milk. We're going to put in some Parmesan cheese, about 1/4 cup. And then we're going to start seasoning up. About 1/8 cup of some dried parsley. Give it a nice color in there too, a little freshness. Some garlic powder, about 1/4 teaspoon. Now my recipe calls for garlic salt, but I'm going to put the garlic powder and then add in some salt. We like the crunchy salt.
It's Celtic salt, crunchy salt.
I call it crunchy salt. Some black pepper, about 1/8 teaspoon of the black pepper. I'm going to put on my kitchen gloves, food safe, and we're going to mix this up. Okay, we're going to take our mixture and we're going to place it into a baking dish. I'm using a 9 by 5 by 3 inches. Or you can freeform this onto a baking sheet pan and make sure it's about 3 inches thick all the way around, nice and even. Now this recipe also calls for a topping, but I'm not going to do that because we're going to be making meatloaf sandwiches with this. And we got a special sauce we're going to be doing for that. We're going to place this in the oven that's been preheated at 350 degrees for 45 minutes to 1 hour. Just give it a check on the inside with an internal thermometer. Should read over 165 degrees. Now when the meatloaf came out of the oven, I let it rest for quite a while to kind of cool down somewhat in the dish. I wrapped it with foil and I put it in the refrigerator overnight. So I'm just going to take a knife, just go along the edges of it. Oh yeah, did you hear that? There we go. That's what you want, a nice formed meatloaf. We're going to cut this about 3/4 to 1 inch thick. All right, we're going to cut it right here. Make nice slices. I'm going to do about 4. Okay, let's talk about the pan that we're going to fry our meatloaf in. We are going to put a sauce on it while it's cooking, and it's going to get kind of sticky in there. So you want to make sure that you are using a very good non-stick cooking pan. We're going to add a little bit of cooking oil, olive oil, avocado oil, whatever you like. And we're just going to cover the bottom with a very light coating of the oil. Need to put it on a medium-high heat. Start heating up the oil. You want it nice and hot, that way the meatloaf can get a nice sear on it. So we're going to look for a shimmer in the oil here. Make sure it's nice and hot. I hear something happening in there. Let's go ahead and take our meatloaf slices. We're going to lay them down. We're going to get these nice and crispy on the bottom side of it and heat it about halfway through the meatloaf. That'll finish kind of cooking the pink out of there. Now, while that's happening, we're going to slather on some barbecue sauce. Whatever flavor you like, we're using a sweet and spicy. I love this flavor. It's not as spicy as you think, but it's got a good flavor. So I'm going to pour it on each slice. And we'll take a brush, slather it on. Now, the barbecue sauce has sugars in it, so when we flip it over, it's going to get really caramelized. So be careful how much you put on here. Fried meatloaf sandwiches used to be the thing back in the day in diners. I don't know if you can find them anymore, but we went to a diner called Galaxy Diner in Arizona, and they did not have fried meatloaf sandwiches on their menu. They had like meatloaf, mashed potatoes, and that for your classic meal for your plate, but not fried meatloaf sandwiches. So my husband's excited for this one here. Let's give it a check and see. Oh yeah, we're gonna flip these over. It smells good. Look at the color of that, yes. See how firm these look? That's why you want it to set in your refrigerator overnight. There we go. Now we are going to add a little barbecue sauce to that side. Oh, went a little bit over on that one. That's okay. Okay. Gonna give it a few more minutes on that side. I'm gonna flip it over once more just to get that barbecue sauce on this side caramelized. Well, once these are done, I'm gonna show you how to make a delicious sandwich, okay? It's gonna have a nice crunch to it. Yeah, we're gonna do something special to the bread. I'm gonna show you what we're gonna use for the bread. Now, if you like any of the gadgets, pans, pots, anything that I use in my kitchen, you can go to catherinesplates.com, go to the store link up at the top with the cookbooks, and go in there and you can possibly find almost everything that I use in the kitchen there. We're an affiliate with them, which means we make a tiny bit of money every time we sell something through that store. Very little, but hey, it helps us bring things to you and show you different gadgets and things also. Okay, I'm gonna flip these over, give it about one more minute on the other side. That way that barbecue sauce gets nice and caramelized. Oh yeah, look at that. Turn off the burner for just a minute. We're gonna be back on the burner here in just a minute. So I'm gonna turn it off. We're gonna remove our meatloaf slices. Whew. There we go. We're going to be toasting up some soft white hoagie rolls. These have sesame seeds on them. We're going to butter them. Boop. All right, we're going to heat this pan up. There we go. We're going to turn it down to a medium. I'll find the medium here. It is right there. Now, we still have an extra ingredient that we're going to be putting on here in just a little bit, so stay tuned for that, all right? Here's my butter. We're going to take our bun, kind of open it up. We're going to coat the bottom and the top of the bun. This is the inside. There we go. And then we're going to place it down in the pan. And we're going to let it get nice and golden brown on the bottom side there. Let's build our fried meatloaf sandwich, and then I'm going to top it with something that's going to give it a nice crunch. All right, we're going to add a little bit more barbecue sauce on the top. Here it is, French's crispy fried onions, right across the top. Whew, these are good. Nice and crunchy. There's our fried meatloaf sandwich. Y'all liking this one? I'm going to give it a try for you. All right, I cut it in half. I'm going to show you the inside. There's my bite. Turn your leftover meatloaf into something delicious. All the components work so well with this. That barbecue sauce, your delicious meatloaf recipe, or my rustic one, the fried onions give it a little crunch, and don't forget that toasted buttered bun. It's very simple, you guys, but it packs a load of flavor. Give me a thumbs up on this one. Make sure you comment down below, and if you're new to the channel, make sure you hit that subscribe button down below and that bell notification. That way you'll always know when shows like this one here are posted. I'll see y'all on the next episode. Gotta make my husband a sandwich.